I got a haircut. I don't look like Frederick Douglass anymore. Hi. So y'all, the COVID fro is gone. I'm sorry for y'all that liked it, but I feel like myself again. It just feels so refreshing. Now, I didn't get my bald fade like I normally did. I just want to play around with my hair since like I ain't going anywhere still. But yeah, it's okay. I'm digging it. I just feel so good. Anywho, that's not what the video is about. Today is Thursday, and this is a mojito that I made. If you want to know how to make your own mojito, especially during the summertime, go in my video history and there's a convos and concoctions episode where you can make it. These horns. Anywho, so this is a random review that I wanted to do because I was just so blown away by what I just saw. As y'all know, Insecure is on hiatus now. The Housewives not coming back till July. So yeah, trying to find some content to review. And I don't think anyone has reviewed this yet that I know of. So yeah, I just wanted to share it with y'all. So the name of it is Disclosure. It's a documentary on Netflix. The way I heard about it, it was like a really big word of mouth. My friend asked me, oh, you need to see Disclosure. It's just amazing. And I just thought it was like a movie or something. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check it out. So then I see an ad for it. I see that it's a lot of prominent trans people in entertainment. I was like, oh yeah, this looks interesting. So I watched it yesterday, and I gotta say, it was so good. So good. It was just so informative. It was really enlightening. It was powerful. Like it really just opened my eyes to a lot of like just injustices to the trans community, to trans actors, workers, etc. And it just really opened my eyes because this is just so relevant these days because as you know, Black trans lives matter. And Black lives can't matter to you unless all Black lives matter to you. Black queer lives, Black trans lives. So yeah, like I'm for this documentary. Now, basically what it's about is trans representation in film and television and portrayals in media. And I gotta say, it was just really interesting. Just so good. Glad I watched it. It's only an hour and 40 minutes, y'all. So just take some time out and watch it. I definitely recommend it. Now, basically, I'm gonna just go over a little bit of things that I liked about it. I don't want to spoil everything, but I just want to just point out some things that I loved about it. Now, basically, it's mainly narrated by Laverne Cox, as well as some other prominent trans writers, actors, directors, and activists. And like I said earlier, it just starts out with basically our first visibility of trans people in media. And I had no idea. Like, they started out with the 70s with George Jefferson, and then we go back to the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, and the early 1900s, even to people like, people that didn't even have an identification. It was basically men dressed as women. Just started as that, just as visibility. And it's crazy that all the way back in the last century, like, the trans image has been an image of mockery and comedy. And just outside before I start like really delve into it, it's just really crazy like how as a society we have been spoon-fed by, I'm guessing, media of what trans is, and it's been mostly negative. And they basically said like 80% of people don't know a trans person personally. One of my best friends is trans, and yeah, it's just been basically a journey just understanding, because I mean, I'm in the LGBT community, but I have no idea like the level of what trans people go through, especially Black trans people. But anywho, so throughout the whole documentary, like, they have these movie clips that basically show like how, I don't know, like, trans people have been like the butt of jokes. They've been portrayed as serial killers, like in Silence of the Lambs and Alfred Hitchcock. I had no idea about that. Prostitutes, crime victims. And I gotta say, like, they went through it all. Like, they went through, like how men dress in drag just for comedy and for amusement, and how we just laugh at men in drag, like as far as Tootsie, Miss Doubtfire, Big Mama's House. And you know what? It was really strange that this documentary left out Tyler Perry. Like, he built an entire fucking empire off of Medea. They strangely left that out. I don't know. That was just one thing that I had a problem with that. And I gotta say, like, midway through, I was just like, I just did not realize that there's been so many problematic portrayals of trans people. Like, I mean, as a gay guy, of course, like, on TV, I'm just like, geez, is everyone like, you know, an effeminate man or like a sidekick to a woman or a joke? So I can only imagine, like, what trans people go through. Like, they're showing shit that came out like early and late 2000s. Like, we're just getting respectable images of trans people on TV, which is very sad. But yeah, there were a lot of segments that just stood out to me. They really covered everything. They covered like straight actors' portrayals of trans people and how that automatically gets them an Oscar. They show black trans erasure from media, because I mean, we all know that it was trans women of color that started the Stonewall riots in the first place. Something else that they touched on was, I'm guessing, just when people were, I'm guessing, outed as trans in movies like The Crying Game. Like, who remembers how huge that movie was, and for the twist at the ending? And just looking at it now in 2020, I'm just like, this is stupid, this is problematic. And then the guy goes to the bathroom and vomits to find out that he was with a trans woman. It really opened my eyes, especially when they showed Ace Ventura. Like, the Ace Ventura one actually made me pause it, just because I was so offended. Like, Jim Carrey actually, like, outed this woman. I guess she was a criminal. And she's like, she's a man! Ripped off her clothes, showed breasts, ripped off her pants, and then turned her around and showed her tuck. Like, I totally forgot about that scene, and it made me so uncomfortable. And I'm guessing that was the point of the documentary. Like, at some points I was really uncomfortable about all this, just this negative portrayal, because you see it over and over and over again. Like, it's just so crazy to me that this was allowed. I mean, a lot of things were crazy back in the day, but geez, like, I gotta say, like, the trans community, like, in media has been either mockery or some other sort of negativity. And of course, I'm glad that they pointed out the influence of the 90s ballroom culture, how that, like, just put a lot of trans people on the map. And then as we get to the end, because we get a time frame, basically, we get to, like, near the end where there's hope and optimism that there's actually roles for trans people. Like, I mean, Pose, you know, like, that show there, come on. I mean, season 1 deserved an Emmy. I just gotta say that. Like, not just for Billy Porter, but the whole series. Like, please watch it if you're not familiar, because it is amazing. And it was just groundbreaking to see trans stories authentically being told on a major network. Just love to see it. The film ends with optimism, and hopefully more trans stories will be authentically told in media. And the community just has the respect that it deserves. Now, after watching the movie, it really made me reflect on my own personal experiences, particularly my college years where I was just coming out, dealing with acceptance. I'm going out to gay bars, and I specifically remember being terrified of men in drag, let alone trans women. And I'm just thinking, how silly that was back then. I mean, especially knowing me now. But just how silly that was, because, I mean, not only is it like my own ignorance and insecurities, but it also had to do with what the movie said. Like, the only images I've had of that community was on TV. And it's just so crazy that all of it was negative. And I just love the growth. You know, like, who doesn't love growth? Like, I love drag queens. I love a drag show. I review Drag Race on my channel. Please watch it. Trans women are beautiful. Like, I appreciate them. They have struggles, they have experiences like my black ass. So yeah, like, if anything, this movie definitely opens minds and promotes growth. So yeah, please, I implore you to check out the movie. It's only an hour and 40 minutes. It's on Netflix. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I really want to know because I really thought it was an eye-opening documentary. Very enlightening, very informative. Anywho, like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, I'll have the BET Awards coming up to review. What else? Drag Race. And Pop Roast will be up this weekend too. So yeah, I will see y'all then. Bye.